Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Sam, and in today's video I wanted to do another reading vlog. I was kind of going back and forth on what kind of theme I wanted to do for this reading vlog. I know that there's a trend going around right now where people are trying to finish their TBRs in reading vlogs, but it's about the middle of June right now, and a lot of the books that I have on my TBR are pretty long, so I definitely won't be able to finish them all in roughly a week or by the time I need to edit this video. So I think I'm just going to like a mood reading for a week with my TBR books. So for the start of this reading vlog, I'm currently in the middle of 2 books, and coincidentally, I'm just over 100 pages of both. So I'll start with this one. This is Happy Place by Emily Henry. This is on my June TBR. I just wanted to start this vlog with something quick and easy and fun, and I'm already really enjoying this book. I had a feeling that I would with the limited amount of information that I had about the plot of this book, as well as just Emily Henry as an author. I've read 2 books by her so far, Book Lovers and Beach Read, and absolutely loved Beach Read and really did enjoy Book Lovers as well. In this book, we are following Harriet and Wynne, who are no longer in a relationship, but they didn't tell any of their friends yet, and they are going on vacation to one of their friends' summer homes all together as their big group, and they don't want to ruin the vibe of the trip by sharing this upsetting news that they're no longer together. So they're pretending to still be in a relationship around their friends for the sake of this trip. It's just so much fun. The descriptions that Emily used at like even the very beginning of this book to describe where are they even located? Yeah, so the descriptions that she used to describe the location of, I can't even say cottage, the like summer home in Knott's Harbor, Maine, apparently, is just so beautiful. Like I could almost picture the water and I mean, she was in an airplane, so the water and the sky and just sort of the landscape that they're around. It was very beautiful. And one of my favorite things in books, no matter the genre, is friendships and the various relationships that we can see. And the friendships of this group is everything. Like you can tell that they know each other so intimately, and the friends that you meet in post-secondary education is like unmatched. Like you go through such a rough time together, and it's just so cute. Like the banter and the inside jokes that they have that you are given background into, so you're kind of part of them as well. It's just so much fun. I'm having the best time. Like I said, I'm only just over 100 pages in, but I'm very excited to read a bunch more today. And then the second book that I'm reading is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. The glare is horrible because I'm sitting in front of my window, but I'm buddy reading this with Emily, which is linked down below as always. Again, I'm 100 pages into this book as well. This is when we're following Addie LaRue, who is a girl that was sort of being forced into a life that she didn't want and was praying to any god that would listen to her to try to save her from this situation. And turns out that now anyone that she meets won't remember her. So we're following her life in sort of a dual timeline situation, which actually Happy Place is also dual timeline. So we're getting how all of the friends and the relationships are meeting and being formed, as well as the current timeline of everything that's going down. So in this one, like I said, dual timeline. So we're getting the initial stages of what she was going through and like after she's cursed, essentially, as well as present day. And it's already so emotional because like I can't even imagine what life would be like if every single person that you come in contact with on a daily basis would forget about you as soon as they walked away or went into another room or something. V.E. Schwab's writing also just feels very magical and is pretty different to a lot of other books that I have read so far, but I will say I feel like it's taken me a long time to read or get through any of these pages. I don't know if it's because like this book is very large. You can see sort of the size difference, but also the font is pretty tiny. So it's definitely taking me longer to read each page, each chapter. And there's definitely points that I can feel how long the book is taking, which is really annoying. But overall, I'm very intrigued with the story and I really enjoy the writing style. And I'm very curious to see what's going to happen. I've heard that the end is very devastating, so we'll see if I cry. But Emily and I are only reading, well, 50 pages a day, so I should be finished this book right around when this vlog is going to finish. So those are my 2 book updates for now, but hopefully my sushi gets here soon and I can continue reading. Hi everybody, happy Wednesday. I just kept reading and reading and just never updated the vlog, so we have some things to talk about. I'll try and make this as short and concise as possible because it is the end of the day. I really hope that you can't hear my ceiling fan. We're in the middle of a heat wave, so I'm not turning it off, but let's just chat about my reading over the last couple days. So first we have Happy Place. I ended up finishing this book last Friday. All of my thoughts from the last clip are definitely still valid. I really enjoyed this book. Probably would give it a 4.5 stars. Really loved all of our characters, but it just like didn't quite give me that 5-star feeling. You can really tell how well all of the characters in this book know each other because of the inside jokes and banter that they have with each other. They just really know each other so intimately from being friends for so many years. The conflict that occurs in this book makes sense for both of our characters and their upbringings and experiences that they have gone throughout their life and sort of how they feel about themselves. But it still was kind of frustrating and was honestly a little lackluster to me. It was definitely very realistic, very much a realistic thing that I'm sure happens to a lot of people, and I definitely saw myself in both of these characters. So maybe that's also why I didn't love it, because it just kind of felt like a personal attack. But overall, I had an amazing time with this book and it just didn't quite hit for me. Overall, I would recommend giving it a chance. And then the next book that I talked about in the last clip and that I finished yesterday is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V. Schwab. So although I did enjoy this book and I found the writing to be very interesting, it feels very magical and there's a lot of very well-written quotes. The description and imagery in some of these quotes were very beautiful and just really well written. Made you feel something. I also really liked the plot. I thought it was very interesting, living your life and not being able to make an impact on other people and not being remembered by anyone that you come in contact with. But I had some problems with the way that this ended. I think I'm going to end up writing a spoiler review on Goodreads, so if you have read this book or you don't care about spoilers, feel free to check out my Goodreads to see my full thoughts, because I don't want to spoil anything for those who haven't read it and are still interested in reading it. I think the way that this ended was very beautiful for our main character, although it was fairly emotional, but the way that it was handled definitely rubbed me the wrong way. And I also really went into this book, I think, with too much knowledge and too high expectations, because I saw the things that I have seen and heard about this book really made me think that I was going to have a specific reaction to the ending, and that just didn't happen. I think because I was sort of expecting it, so I ended up guessing or figuring out what was going to happen at the end. So it was not that like exciting twist or anything for me. Overall, I think that this book is very well written. I'm interested to read more books by this author, but for me it was probably a 3.5 book, and it could have definitely been higher if I went in more blind than I did. Then on Monday, I started The Veiled Kingdom by Holly Renee. In this book, we're following Naira, who is the princess of this land and escapes from the palace because she doesn't have any powers and ends up getting captured by the rebellion. And so we're kind of just going from there. She's just trying to escape. I don't know if it's just the region that her father rules or the continent entirely. I can't remember. I ended up reading 2/3 of this book on Monday and finishing it off on Tuesday. I just could not put it down. Honestly, this book doesn't have a ton of substance plot wise. I feel like there's not much happening, a lot of training, which I do really enjoy, but it was like sort of drawn out, so there wasn't a ton happening plot wise. I'm not like really sure where we're gonna go the rest of this series. This is also a romantasy book, so there is a love interest. The banter between our two main characters was so fun, and sort of the friendships and relationships that we're starting to see being built, I really enjoyed. I'm a sucker for a good friendship, but I do kind of feel like some of the opinions and relationships were formed very quickly, and it was sort of like whiplash at some points where our two main characters are sort of like in an argument, and then all of a sudden they are like flirty and getting into some like spicy scenes. I don't know. Overall, I had a really good time. I'm very intrigued to see what happens next. It was a little predictable, a little like classic romantasy book with sort of a bunch of tropes just thrown in there, sort of like just to have the most popular romantasy tropes. I really enjoyed our main characters, and I'm very intrigued to see what happens next. I think it's going to be a 4-star for me. Had a really great time, but nothing like extraordinary. And then today, and probably the last book that is going to be included in this reading vlog, I have started Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home. This is book 3 in the Magnolia Parks universe, and I made it 74 pages in today so far. I already love it so much. Justice writing is just nothing I've ever read before. It's so lyrical that just really does something to me. And even though all of our characters are so messy and so flawed, especially in the Magnolia Parks books, I love them. I eat them up. I love these characters. I feel for them and what they're going through, because they just feel like real people, and how people are flawed and messy and make bad decisions. And already in just this little bit, there's been some character development, and to think that this is what we've gotten already in the first 75 pages, I'm terrified of what is just to come. But I love it, and these covers are stunning. This one especially, I love it so much. That is the last book. I am also reading bits of Pucking Ever After Volume 2, but I'm just sort of picking up here and there when I have a spare chance. It's nothing too like exciting. It's just like bonus chapters from the first books in this series, just to see sort of what happens after, extended scenes of some of the fan favorites from the previous books. And this one's definitely heavy. There's some definite heavy topics, so keep that in mind if you're thinking of picking this up. But that's my update for now.